Prepare for battle.
One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge things. See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes. You're on the way to choose your type of life, cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch, the spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you back flip. Let's get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Let's get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Let's get it on down. Choose and pick the best one. Let's get it on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Let's get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge things. See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes. You're on the way to choose your type of life, cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch, the spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you back flip. Let's get it on down. Select to make your first pick.
What's up, chat? It is May 19th, 2026. Almost forgot what day it was and also what year. So, welcome back to another episode of Gamer Quotient Gaming Academy, where we're going to take you to college, gaming college. So, class is officially in session, and tonight we are stepping up to the cabinet for class 76, called Insert Coin. Now, this is a special one because tonight we're debuting a brand new segment on the show called Insert Coin. I'm going to say that a few more times on this speech. This is where we take a game, trend, franchise, idea, or gaming habit and ask the real question: is it worth the credit? Well, not just your money. We're talking about like your time, your energy, your attention, and of course your gamer soul, because you can only give so much before it wears you down. And for our first official Insert Coin, we're going to put Neon Inferno into the machine. We're going to break down what this game is, who is it for, how much it costs across different platforms, and whether this cyberpunk arcade action game deserves the official Gaming Academy ruling. Insert Coin, wait for continue, or game over. Until later tonight, I'll be taking us to the final boss with a lesson called When the Screen Gets Crowded, inspired by Neon Inferno itself and that classic arcade pressure. We're talking about what happens when life fills the screen with chaos, distractions, and responsibilities. And that's how the disciplined player learns to breathe, read the patterns, find the openings, and make the next right move. So grab your controller, check your pockets for quarters, and get ready. Because tonight the cabinet is lit, the class is live, and the only question is, are you ready to insert coin? All right? So, all right. Let's go ahead and bring our faculty here because, I don't do this alone. Unfortunately, Nick couldn't make it tonight because he has some other things to attend to, but we got our other faculty members here in our faculty select screen. So what's up, everybody? How was your week?
Oh, what a week it's been.
Eventful and exciting, like in a whole different way. We recorded our new special I don't know what we would call it. It's not a segment. We recorded a new feature as part of Gaming Academy, right? We did our pilot episode, and that was stressful and exhilarating, to put it lightly.
Right.
But no, that went good. And for me, as far as what I played this week, I jumped in, and Ace talking about Death Road to Canada so much made me finally fire that up again since 2018. I promptly got my ass beat again.
Sounds
I
about
literally last night I called it. I believe, and I mean this wholeheartedly. And we can get into this later on. I think it's the hardest roguelike ever made.
Oh dang, that is a statement.
That's a statement,
That
and
is a
that's my
statement.
genre.
Yeah, I
I'm
was like,
like,
oh dang.
I do. I think it's the hardest.
Okay, all right. Actually, you
What'd
know
you
what?
do?
I feel like that would be a great segment, like with the hardest roguelike ever made in comparison. I guess that'd be kind of fun to compare. So
Well, we could even expand on that to just the hardest in any genre, right?
yeah,
And really look at it,
yeah, yeah. I want
bring
to hear
some arguments to the table.
everyone's like hardest, right? Like because everybody has their own perspective on what's difficult and what's hard. So that'd be kind of fun. So
I nominate hardest licensed games to be a competition between Fester's Quest
Oh
and
my
Batman for the NES.
I'm gonna say X-Men with an LJN. That's pretty hard.
Oh, these games, they hate children.
Yes, they did.
They hate children, love rentals. So, how about you, Ace? How was your week been?
Aside from a few off the clock things, this week was actually pretty eventful. I still continuing through Muso May, and I went back through and started playing Persona 5 Strikers.
Oh yeah.
Also sat down on Also sat down on Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage 2.
That sounds like a month of Muso.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Brother, it has been a time.
Okay, right
I
on.
really need to fire up the PS3 and get that damn plat. I have like 3 stages left.
Don't you just hate that when you're like something just appears in life and you're like, I'm almost done. Something happens and then you just forget about it, and
I
then
just
you're
burned
like,
out.
Yep, yep.
Burned out at the finish line.
I get you on that.
And
That was me in Dynasty Warriors 7. I burnt out on that pretty hard.
I feel that. But honestly, it's been nice just getting back to those games and not just revisiting early Dynasty Warriors games, but also taking a look at the other spin-offs and offshoots and the different competitors in that space, and realizing not just how much is out there, but at the same time how shallow the pool is for Muso games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people would probably chime in and say, like, yeah, Muso games are pretty shallow, right? But I disagree. I think they have their own flavor, So it's a man. The first time I played Dynasty Wars, I was like, is this the future of beat 'em ups? Because I'm in. This is awesome, So like, I'm all about that stuff. But all right. Well, I know. Do you guys have anything else before I jump into our latest new segment?
Well, obviously, let's make sure we do our introductions.
Yeah. Go ahead. Jump on.
Of course, just standard protocols are in effect of who we are. If you've been here for a while, you should already know who we are. If you're here for the first time, I'm Oliver, former game journalist. I've been streaming for, oh dear God, 16 years now, and I am still broke. It's like this is not a lucrative career choice, but it is one. It's just like they say. If you like what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, and I like what I do. So, I spend most of my time focusing on finding game deals for people. It was something I picked up when I was a young pup. Reading EGM and GamePro and things like that, and just remember the watchdog. Keep your eye out for people, right? Go find the good deals. If there are bad games out there, I'm going to warn you about that stuff too. And fun fact about me is that, again, as stated on previous episodes, I have a trading card from that designed on me for my contributions to video game history, issued to me by Walter Day from Twin Galaxies, and you can go look that up. And you'd be like, "This guy's full of." Oh no. That was a thing. That was a thing, and I still feel really special about that. They're just like, "Oh wow, that's cool. Someone's got a Topps card of me, and someone is probably doing something inappropriate with that." Which I just ruined that whole day.
I would say, like, probably in this chat, in this panel, none of us here have a trading card, so that's pretty sweet. Like that's like one of the things to flex in life, right? I think that's pretty
right.
awesome.
Look at that and eat it with a piece of Bazooka Joe. I said that just to piss my wife off. She hates Bazooka Joe. That's my dog, though. Man, that's if you need to go to the
You
dentist.
see, those cards need to come in a special gift pack with some Big League Chew.
Jeez. All right. What flavor?
Sour apple, of course.
Oh my goodness. He went straight for the big leagues.
There we go. Big leagues. Got him.
It's got to be green apple, man.
I like Bazooka Joe. You get a little comic with it. I mean, that was a bonus, right? So
Oh yeah.
That kid was half a pirate. For some reason. I always thought that
That's
dude was
true.
cool. But that piece of gum, boy, you're gonna work to chew that shit.
Oh yeah. And then like once you got the flavor out, it was out. It was like 30 seconds or less or something like that.
Whew.
It was
Yeah.
that thing has like a peak and a what do you call it? A valley really quick on flavor.
It's like fruit stripe gum.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that boy is so good for about 15 seconds.
Yep.
Like,
There we go.
Once you get the flavor out of,
And then
once
who
you
are-
get the flavor
who
out
are
of
you,
Bazooka Joe
boss?
gum, it goes from bubble gum to cement.
Cement.
Absolutely. You know MacGyver was using that shit back in the day to glue
Yep.
shit together. It's like a gorilla glue for your mouth.
Which makes us wonder why are we eating it and putting it in our mouths, right? So,
Because we're fucking stupid. That's people. We're stupid. We're dumb as a box of rocks. Wait, that's an insult to rocks because boxes of rocks are doing shit these days.
that's true. Oh man.
Them doing AI. So it's like, wait a minute. The bar
Oh,
has
no.
changed.
Speaking of
dear.
dumb as a box of rocks, hi, I'm Blazing Ace Nelson. I am, as as most folks know me here, the Dean of Applied Sciences. I'm the guy that you go to in order to suss out the mechanics of any of your favorite games, suss out why they work, how they work, and how playing the game actually relates to you through interactivity. Unlike Oliver, I don't have a trading card of me, but I am the masochist of the team that likes to go back and play fighting games on keyboard.
Hey, that's pretty cool to me,
Oh.
in my opinion.
I forgot about that shit. I can't believe you did that to us in Guilty Gear. I was personally insulted in Exerd way back in the day when he did that shit. We're like, yeah, we're all gonna play Guilty Gear. And next thing I know, I'm getting my shit rocked by Potemkin, and knowing that he's doing WSAD, I'm like, why would you do this? It's an insult to the game. I took it very personally. It was very. Well, you know what? One of these days, just for a goof, we may have to fire up Exerd, original Exerd, like the old days, just so people could see what it looks like when you and I are scrapping. Because it's like, oh, like no, these guys are fighting. Wake up, we're
Heck
fighting.
yeah, running back on Rev 2? Brother. Come on,
Oh
man.
boy,
Oh man, you guys went straight to
Ooh,
Rev
people
2.
would be like, oh, I'll bust out my jam and we'll see.
It will be like that scene out of The Matrix. Just, hey, Neo and Morpheus are fighting. Let's go.
Oh boy, no, those were some fights. They were fights for the ages. In just looking back on it, it's like, no, those are some of the best fights I ever had in fighting games, knowing that I was fighting someone else who was thinking as well and not just reacting.
I had one of those coming of age stories of like, I think, I don't know, maybe I was like 15 or 16. It was a Street Fighter Alpha 2. My cousin, he owned it, and I just, I barely just owned a PlayStation at that time. And I went over his house, and he beat the shit out of me with Akuma, like 30 rounds straight, perfects, no wins whatsoever. And I like demanded that next year when I come over again, I will defeat you with Ryu, just like the box art. He's standing up to Akuma. And yeah, it just took me like a whole season to at least get like 2 wins in there. So it was pretty cool.
But you
I
ran
did.
back.
It's not about giving up. It's about like learning from your mistakes and just, chugging through it, man. Like you just improve over the last year, right? So
Don't wait for that continue. Insert the coin. Press start.
there we go. Like this. Let me show you. I had it right here.
You know what that reminds me of? You saying, that he was mopping the floor with you, but you came back on him twice. One of the most inspirational things this would be something like for a final boss, but one of my favorite movies of all time from when I was a kid was one of the last movies Rick Moranis ever did, and it's him and Ed O'Neill, and the movie is called Little Giants.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there's a moment at the end. I carry that. I carry that in my heart. I literally use that to help these guys get through fight. Where he's talking about, he's like, this dude used to whoop my ass in this downhill race every single time. He's like, he beat me over and over and over again. He's hyping up the kids because it's a Pee-wee football movie, and he's like, but there was one time I beat him. Right? And the kids are like, kind of like, what? They're like, that's crazy. And he's like, no. He's like, but there was one time, and the kids kind of go around and they tell their stories. Like, wait a minute, yeah, there was one time where they were on top of the pile, and they were starting to realize. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, you play these guys over and over and over again. You could play them 99 times, out of 100 and lose, but one time they weren't on their game. And that's the thing that you need to hold on to. One time. And Ace has heard it when I've said it in Monster Hunter, when people are getting all, discombobulated and they're getting discouraged. I go, guys, we only have to win once, right? We can try this as many times as we like, but when we clear it, it's cleared. Proof of a hero, anyone? like, no, that's a crazy ass fight. I'm like, oh, this is the hardest fight I've ever done in Monster Hunter.
Like the monsters have to cart us 3 times,
right?
But we only got to win once.
I only got to cart you once, big man. I got 50 minutes to do it. I got all the time in the world.
Right.
So it's really important to remember.
I swear, I still think it wholeheartedly believe that the monsters are Capcom employees playing the monsters on the other side.
That would be so fun.
I wholeheartedly believe that because they're so like, I feel like sometimes they just know what to do, and I'm like, you can't. That's not AI. That's impossible. Like, there's somebody on the other side there like telling that thing to do something. So. That's just me and my conspiracy theories. So
that would be an excellent offshoot of Monster Hunter,
right? You are the monster.
Like, why not? We've been doing that. Like, that's whatchamacallit. What was that game? Evolve?
Yeah, Evolve died too early for its time.
Yeah, you could do that with Monster Hunter. That'd be a hoot. Like, just as a side project or an add-on to the game, where it's like, no, have someone go control the monster and give them a gameplay loop. Look, people get very, very mad to this day that they haven't brought back Prowlers. Are you familiar?
I'm mad, and I haven't even used them.
I don't think what that is. Hold on.
So, was it in Generations?
Yeah.
Or was it so in Generations, they let you play as Palicos.
Oh, cool.
And they have all their own unique skill sets and their own weapons and things like that. You could tunnel under the ground and evade monsters and do all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And you could do that alongside other players. So it's like, oh, wow, okay, we're just going to give the sidekicks a little autonomy. They haven't brought it back yet.
That'd be fun. Yeah, like one could be the Palico. That'd be super cool. So
it'd be super cool to play as a Rathalos.
Yeah, man, I that's a dream. I want that.
That's where we have Monster Hunter stories.
Right. I want to play as a Kushala Diora. So that's always I always wanted to be that way.
Oh, you have some taste, good sir.
Oh man, I got a statue of a Kushala Diora box over there. I haven't put out yet. It's gonna be whenever I get a shrine, I'll put that up. So my favorite monster.
And just a note for people why we're doing the talking heads again. Last week I said that we were doing a trial run for, like I said, our new sub long form video that Ace and I are working on. And so basically right now we're kind of getting people used to the idea of what we've got set up here. Our new little offshoot is called Philosophy of the Game, where we sit down and we look at games across genres. And while Ace plays, we actually sit down and we discuss what the game is actually doing to you, the player, more so than what's going on in the game. And we just want people to get used to these avatars as you see them as we go across this series of videos that's going to take place over like the next year. And it's very exciting. We're going to have some clips coming out soon. That's going to be some previews of that, and it is going to debut within the next week. So everybody kind of get excited for that. But that's really the score, and we just wanted to lay out why we're doing it the way we're doing it tonight. It's like, yep, get used to this ugly mug because you're going to be seeing it again for at least a year.
Do you
and
guys want
maybe
me
more.
to share the artwork?
Yes, by all means.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see.
But yeah, it's gonna be the Gaming Academy's new extracurricular degree program.
I'll do the after school special.
There we go.
Summer school.
Summer school. There you go. I'll use the beta one. I like this one a lot, but it doesn't have a game associated with it. But I thought this was my favorite one. So, art. So, guys, this is the marquee art for PHG, Philosophy of Gaming. It's pretty sweet.
And I'll tell you guys this right now. To me, hands down, the best part was watching all the feelings. I literally watched Ace get scared, intimidated, paranoid, full of anxieties,
Brother,
right?
I shrieked at
distrusting.
I was there.
He did.
I saw it.
So I was like, yes, this works. This works in the best possible way. And we're not 100% sure yet, but I'm fairly certain that the next episode of that we'll be filming will probably be Death Road to Canada, just because it's very top of mind and current, and I'm playing it again. And obviously the point of that is to touch on roguelikes, not just Death Road to Canada, but this is a very more broad analysis. We also look at the game and the history of the game, what it's like revisiting the game in the current times, right? And then we get into, hey, what is the game wanting to do? And then how is that affecting the player psychologically? And I stick to Carl Jung type analysis on this stuff. And that's basically just kind of how it goes down. It's really fun, and we try to keep the scripting just to we try to stick to bullet points, but we try to make the conversation more authentic because boy, we have way too much scripted content on the internet, don't we?
No, not enough. Let's see. All right. Okay, so Friday, right? You guys are gonna do the debut Friday at 8:00. Is that what I remember?
Or was it Thursday?
Thursday
at 8:00. All right, and just keep an eye out for that, guys, on the channel as well. It's not gonna go anywhere else. So also just keep an eye on our socials as well. So I already watched it, and I was engaged the whole time. So I think you guys will also be too. So check that out.
That is a very high compliment.
Well, I was like I said, I was engaged. That's the whole point, right?
Here's the word to the wise: be aware of things that are blue. They are not good for you. What does that mean? Well, you're just gonna have to watch it.
For you.
If it's blue, it ain't good for you. If you want to know what that means, you're gonna have to watch it when it debuts.
Yeah, I mean, old NES games were like color coded that way because they didn't have enough. They had a limited amount of ways to communicate that to the player, right? So,
absolutely.
The video games had me eating chicken off the floor, so that's exactly how it was back then. All right. Well, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm excited to introduce this new segment to you guys. And I want to know your feedback on our next segment coming up here, Insert Coin. It is going to be based off the game Neon Inferno, which I played over the weekend on my Weekend Warrior stream last week. And I'll be playing that on the background as I'm basically just going through my monologue. So pretty much this segment is going to be about whether by the end of my description of Neon Inferno, will this game be 1, insert coin, worth it? 2, wait to continue, maybe later, hold off on a sale, or game over, it's just not for you, and it's just not recommended by the headmaster here. So This is not going to be limited to me. This is open to any of the faculty members to have their own insert coin and game to talk about. This is kind of I thought of this as kind of a more of a wonderful way to kind of express the games that we like and and our experiences we played, and how to share that towards you guys and invest properly. Like I said, is it worth your time, money, and energy? We always talk about that on the channel, and yeah, this is insert coin. So let me play this guy here in the background. You guys will just enjoy my gameplay here, and yeah, I'll just go ahead and go through this. So appreciate you guys, and let's go ahead and put the coin in. All right, so insert coin, Neon Inferno class. Let's do this. All right, the neon is flashing, as you can see on the screen. It's screaming really loud. There's a lot of things happening in this game. The quarter slot is waiting, and for tonight, the game asking for our credit and time is Neon Inferno. Now, this one right here, this is not a quiet game. This is not a sit back and relax and take in the scenery type of game. Actually, I take that back. I think it is, because it is very pretty. But if you're not careful, and I've caught myself multiple times dying because of basically enjoying the artwork of this pixel art game, you will die many, many times. Neon Inferno walks into the arcade wearing a leather jacket, kicks the machine next to it, and says,
No.
all right, this game is bringing back old school arcade energy back to the front of the classroom, where we're taking cyberpunk streets, bullets flying everywhere, right? Enemies coming from the foreground and background, and that classic feeling of, I almost had it. Let's run it back. I did that multiple times in this first level, right? And actually, matter of fact, I was playing this game only on hard mode because I really wanted to experience it the way it was intended to. So, officially, Neon Inferno is a hybrid side-scroller and gallery shooter with an action taking place in both the foreground and background. It is set in a dystopian future of New York City, supports solo or two-player play, and includes mechanics like attacking enemies on multiple planes, deflecting projectiles with bullet time, commandeering vehicles, and tackling one credit clear arcade mode.
Whew.
That's a lot. And that's what it makes this game super interesting, because here on Insert Coin, we're not just asking, is the game cool? No, we're asking the real question here. Is it worth your credits, your hard-earned credits, money, the time you spend to earn that money, your focus, your patience, of course, your energy, because we have only so much of that in a day, and lastly, your gamer soul. Now, before we put the quarter in, let's check the price on the cabinet. Now, as of today, May 18th, right, or May 19th, sorry, the current digital pricing I found for this game, I'll name it through platform. It's currently available $19.99 on Steam, $20, less than $20. $19.99 on the Switch eShop. It is right now currently discounted to $15.99 through May 28th on the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and Series X as well. Now, the sale ends in 9 days for Xbox One, so check that out as much as possible. And if you're a collector like me and you go physical, this game is available physical standard edition. That's how I'm playing it for $34.99 through limited run. Now, I know limited run is a little finicky for a lot of people, but that was the only way I can get this game physical for now. But it is currently listed as sold out. I did pre-order this like 6 months ago. I really wanted a copy of it, so I made sure to snag it when I can. So that was my investment on Neon Inferno. Now the Steam lists this game at $19.99. Nintendo Switch pricing is currently at $19.99 through Deco Deals and the Nintendo eShop. And basically, the PlayStation has the same thing with the Xbox as well. But the real question is here, right? $20 is $20, or $16 if you catch the console sale. And is Neon Inferno worth the credit? In class, I think it makes a strong case. As you're seeing on the screen right now, I'm getting bodied by the first boss of the game. Actually, there's a demo for this game as well. I believe on both console and PC. And this is the stage that you play. So by any means, check it out for free. And if you love it, continue to play it. Now, this is a type of game that looks at the modern gaming landscape the giant open worlds and the 80-hour checklists. I know I'm playing Assassin's Creed Origins right now, and it's driving me insane because I feel like I'm just doing chores, right? It gets rid of battle passes, the endless side content, and this says, nah, for real. Let's go back to Contra. Give me a gun, give me a screen full of enemies, give me a friend on the couch, and let's see who survives. That is the whole different kind of energy and vibe with this game. Because arcade style games don't waste time. They test you right away. They want your money ASAP. Now, you also don't get 45 minutes of tutorializing. This jumps you into fray right away. You don't get 1,000 map markers with all that mess. You don't get a quest longer than longer than your grocery list. You get pressure. You get intimidation. You get chaos, basically. And we'll cover that later in the final boss. Now, this pressure actually reveals the player. It revealed a lot about me when I was playing the game. And I know I can get frustrated. And it takes time for me to get frustrated. But there were some times that I got frustrated because I thought the game was acting cheap. But we'll get to that later. Now, that's what games like this do so well. Because they put you in the moment, right? They ask you, can you react? Can you adapt? Can you stay calm when the screen turns into a fireworks show of bad decisions, right? Just like what you're seeing on the screen right now. And let me tell you something, man. That's not gaming. That's not just gaming, I should say. That's life itself, right? Because sometimes life feels like enemies are coming from the foreground and background too. You're trying to handle what's right in front of you, but then something else pops up in the back of the screen. And that thing could be work, could be bills, could be family, right? Or even just like, your chores and your responsibilities, errands that you have to do. That backlog staring at you like, hey, you're going to finish me in 2022, 2026 or what? What's going on here? Like, what's the deal? I mean, I have a whole backlog here that's waiting for you to play and some stuff I really want to revisit as well, right? So, like I said, time, energy, and money is important. But we're not just going to be playing at that specific level, right? We're not going to be just going to be playing a normal game. In Neon Inferno, you're managing the chaos. A game like this is where you learn a lesson. It reminds us of something. Sometimes the answer is not to panic, but sometimes the answer is not to quit. Sometimes the answer is to read the pattern, adjust your timing, and take the next shot. Matter of fact, if you see the screen right here, if it's my first second to try on the stage, I'm actually mashing or I'm actually shooting erratically. But then as I keep dying, you'll notice my shots get more controlled because I know where the bad guys are coming from. And this becomes really apparent in the last level because I replayed that last level at least 20 times in one run, right? Now, this is the part of me as a gamer where the disciplined player locks in, right? Well, I gotta say, this is probably not a game for everybody. I don't think this is everyone's game, to be honest with you. But if you need games to hold your hand, tuck you in, and bring you a snack, and say, "Hey, don't worry, champ, you're doing amazing," this may not be the game for you, But if you like arcade action, you like run and gun chaos like Contra, Wild Gun, Sunset Riders, all the above legacy games. If you miss games that make you earn the next screen, this brought me back. I heard one more try to myself. Suddenly it's like 2:00 in the morning and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go. And I do remember telling Stream this, that I was like, I think I'll just finish this tomorrow because this last stage is whooping me, right? Now, Neon Inferno is not just asking you to play it. It's asking you to commit. So here's my ruling. You guys ready? Remember, the ruling is either insert coin for the thumbs up, wait for continue for meh, get it on a sale, or game over for the thumbs down. All right? With that said, I will say, let's see here. I give Neon Inferno the headmaster approve of insert coin. This game is fantastic. This game brought me back to when I was a kid playing Contra and Sunset Riders for the first time, and with spectacular visuals. Now, this one is worth the credit. At $19.99, it feels like a fair price for a focused arcade action experience. Now, remember what I say. If it's cheaper, even better. At $16, especially on PlayStation and Xbox, while those sales are active, that credit starts looking even better. Not because you're trying to be the biggest game in the room. This is because you want something fast paced and something that's not trying to eat your whole calendar, not because it needs 100 systems stacked on top of each other. It's worth every credit because it knows exactly what it is: stylish, fast, focused, and punishing. Arcade as hell, right? Look at this. You notice I'm only shooting one bullet now on the screen because I remember where they're at. That's how you can tell you've kind of, grown on playing this level and leveling up your gamer quotient, right? And sometimes, class, I just want to say this. This is what we need, right? A game not to ask you for your whole life. This was a weekend of fun, just for a moment of your attention. So with that said, with the headmaster, insert that coin, press start, bring a friend, because it's a crazy good time. And when the screen flashes continue, don't ask whether you lost, ask what you learned. Think about that. Because in games and in life, the real player is not the one who never gets hit. It's the one who comes back sharper after each credit you put in the machine. So that is my basically my summarization for Neon Inferno. Panel, chat, I'd love to hear what you guys think about the game. Do you guys agree that it's an insert coin, wait for continue, or it's a game over for you?
Oh boy, do I have thoughts.
Lots
Let's
of
put it
feelings.
this way. Let's put it this way. To start, while you were talking, I immediately went and downloaded the demo. I'm already impressed, and I haven't even started playing the game on one premise. It's 1 gigabyte big. I'm like, sold. Sold. I was like, I grabbed the demo and like, nope, it's barely a gig. I'm like, that's great. And second, just based on visuals alone, I have written an entire list of games that this reminds me of deeply. Just that this is a game that is full of style. It is full of technique. I mean, come on, look at that fire. The sheer amount
Mm-hmm.
of labor just in making background fire, right? And this game is oozing with color. It's like someone murdered a unicorn over a rainbow and like did it, but it all works.
It's like someone
it all
hired
is-
Lisa Frank to sprite Contra.
Sure did, right? And they really put it all together. And it's so funny because you mentioned games that I had written down. In the first place, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Sunset Riders. Oh, this reminds me of Wild Guns, right? This reminds me of Operation Wolf or Hogan's Alley,
Ooh.
or, more recently, Terminator 2D, right? Because that has a very similar stuff, which that game is beyond amazing, right?
Yep.
Here's a big one, a real old school one, Gunstar Heroes, right? And
Love it.
again, just a game that so many people missed and is just it's top comedy, right? With it's actually infusing these old school ideas with almost but not quite, and I mean this, like I'm talking a dusting of souls on top of it. Hunt Down, which
Love
is
Hunt Down.
just, oh my goodness, that game was great.
Oh my
Right, so
gosh.
right there we've got at least 7 games. If you like this, it's like, you might want to take a look at these too. Now some of them are harder to get because they're so old. Hogan's Alley, Operation Wolf, which were strictly gallery shooters.
Mhm.
And then, in Sunset Riders, there's moments, right? Again, Terminator 2D, there's moments where you're in the gallery. But it looks like, just to me, these guys had an idea and then they committed to it and ran the ball all the way, which is something I love to see. If you're gonna come up with something, commit to the bit and lean all the way into it, right? I mean, the sheer amount of background stuff going on here is actually impressive. And I see what you mean, where it's like, oh no, you're really interacting with the background. It's like, yeah, like in Contra, there's more than a couple of bosses across that series where they're technically not on the same plane as you, right? And you're really shooting at the background, or the quasi 3D sections, right? Where we're running up and down and having to go prone and all that other stuff. I feel like, though, I feel like you should have succeeded more easily. I mean, you got hit points. Contra, you take a toe hit, it's your ass.
Well, that's the thing. Your hit points is your life. Once you die, you start over from the checkpoint.
Oh my god!
Right.
Look at that crowd.
Oh my gosh, guys, the music that was happening in this screen, and I wish I could share it with you. I was like, that's why I'm stunned in my image. Look at me, look at me. I was
Damn it, out.
loving it. I was loving the song playing. It was so good. It was so good.
That
Okay.
sheer commitment is crazy.
Right. This is taking the bit and running it from the 1 yard line all the way to your end zone on the other side of the field. This is taking it all the way and then spiking the ball and making sure that the entire crowd is joining in on the cheering.
Look, we got the DJ in the back. He's vibing the crowd. We got the spotlights way back there. There's so much unnecessary detail,
The
and I
smoke in the
love it.
foreground, right? That's
Yeah,
insane.
it's all going down. Like, oh shit, okay. Yo,
And
playing for keeps.
Oh, and then
And
we
here's-
got, oh no.
So,
Yeah.
here's
Yeah.
the thing here too, guys. If you shoot down, you actually hit the civilians. You have to actually avoid that.
I'll be damned.
Like you'll see like negative numbers here, like when if some because one of these guys shoot down and they actually hurt somebody, and it actually cost me a score point. Like that guy
Are
right
you,
there.
are you
Hey, look, civilian
Oh.
killed.
Oh,
are you parrying bullets?
Yeah,
Yes,
there's a
he is.
deflect mechanic. Yep,
I assume it only works on the green ones.
yep. That's the thing.
Huh.
That's
That
the
is-
gimmick.
You know what? This is almost
insane.
like the game that would be made if they could have back in the heyday, the prime days of old school anime. You know, like Dominion, Tank Police,
Oh
etc.
yeah, 100%.
That's the vibe I get off of it.
Speaking of Dominion Tank Police, I still have to keep an eye out for when the Scramble Vice releases.
Yeah, I saw the screens for that game too. That the screens itself, I was like, I'm already sold. This game looks cool.
Right.
So
But no, but speaking about just this, like at the start of that area, I was vibing with the crowd too. I was thinking of my own music in my head. And then you jumped up to the scaffolding and started moving, and the stage started, and it felt like everything just exploded.
yeah, like there,
the
yeah.
action just
That's crazy.
the action just kicked from first gear all the way up to sixth.
Yeah, and they didn't have to do it this way, but they did, and it's like, man, this is pretty clever, And the fact that there's civilian injuries, like I did not expect that at all. Actually, I was like, wow, these guys can get hurt down there. That's insane. So, but anyway, insert coin, guys. This is it right here. I mean, I love this game a lot. Check out my stream, The Weekend Warrior. I usually go on Saturdays. This was last Saturday. I don't know what I'll be playing next week. I just kind of take it one day at a time. But yeah, hope you guys like that segment, and we'll have more of that, down the road as well. All right, what do we got up next?
All right, so now that we've finished our time at the arcade, let's take a trip a little bit further back and revisit, reminisce, and what's the word? Well, let's just go ahead and jump in the time machine. Let's take everybody back to the past, and let's bring up our old save files with the Memory Card Chronicles. This week in gaming history.
All right. Well, actually, I have the first one. So we're going to be covering May 17th all the way to the 23rd, right? And on 5/17, it was my pick because I actually had a pretty good time playing this game. And I played this was one of my first games I had. And where'd you guys go? What the heck? One of the first games I had streamed on my channel. This is like maybe the third game I had streamed on the channel. LA Noire. Shout out to this box art. It's so good. It's got its colors down, that's for sure. And actually, that LA Noire is textured in the cover art itself. So now, I've already talked about this game last year, and LA Noire has been probably one of the more impressive visual games out there. And I know like Oliver talked about Heavy Rain, and those David Cage games, right?
Yes,
But yeah, LA Noire to me was my Heavy Rain, like that, because I hadn't played Heavy Rain yet. I did Rockstar put a label on a game, and I was like, I'm gonna play this game, see what it's like. But I also just wanted to play as like old fashioned detective because I used to play this game called Deja Vu when I was a kid, right? And yeah, see, Oliver knows what I'm talking about. And so I really wanted to kind of get that back as more in my 20s, in my late 20s. So here's some fun tips, fun facts about LA Noir. Now, LA Noir used motion scan, a setup with 32 cameras capturing actors' faces from every angle. That's why the interrogations focused heavily on facial expressions and body language, right? And that was like the fun part of the game for me was like, are you lying? Are you looking to the left? Are you looking up when you're telling me stuff? Like I became like a border patrol agent basically for like a few hours. Another fun fact for this: the game took 7 years to make, which at the time, that was a long time. Development began in 2004, and the game did not release till 2011. Now, for a detective game about patience, clues, and slow investigation, that development cycle was pretty on point, I think. And lastly, for my fun facts here, the Xbox 360 version came on 3 discs versus the one Blu-ray that was on PS3. Because the game was so large for the time, the 360 version shipped on 3 discs. Before compression, it reportedly used as many as 6 discs internally. Can you imagine getting a 6 disc 360 game? That's crazy.
Oh, well, I mean, it's like getting it on PC. You have that install disc, and then you have like 4 or 5 others that are the play discs.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Like, I think Metal Gear had that, right? Eventually. And last of all, LA Noire wasn't just about solving crimes. It was about staring at somebody's face and saying, "Hey, you blinked weird." Yeah, I know you're the one that killed him. That was me the whole time. I swear. I was like, everybody's a murderer. You look to the left. Who did it?
You blinked weird.
You blinked weird. That was me. All right. And that's my game for the 17th. The next one, I'm pulling up the gameplay right now because I agree with this pick as well.
Oh, Oliver, I'm sorry. For May 18th, my pick.
Here we go.
Split Second.
Now I got to hear about this shit for like 3 days from this woman.
Now, when I was still thirsting for an arcade style racer like Burnout Revenge and Burnout 3 Takedown, I guess I was a little bit let down with Burnout Paradise, but Disney Interactive of all places decided to take a shot and publish this little ditty from Black Rock Studios. And what amazed me about Split Second, because back when this came out, I was still very much ye old broke college students. But recently, as I had been picking up PlayStation 3 games, back a few months ago when I was collecting for my own personal collection, I actually found a physical copy of Split Second and decided, you know what, I need to get this. And then I sat down and played it. And oh boy, this took me all the way back to Burnout.
You meant, oh boy, because it's from Disney.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I imagine the mouse driving the car.
No. Goofy's driving this thing.
Oh man, that's even worse. Gorge, get out of my way.
But the cool part about this, aside from the fact that Split Second itself is fashioned after a reality TV show, so pretty much each league, each set of races that you go through is literally a season of this show. But the really interesting part about this is the simple fact that your surroundings are your weapon. So I mean, yeah, with Burnout, you're driving at high speeds. You've got that built-in nuke in your car, the crash breaker, and you've got different background takedowns that you could do. But here, you might as well be directing a freaking stunt crew, because you are setting off explosions. you are bringing down structures like whole freaking buildings on the track. And while everyone else is getting, while everyone else is pretty much at ground zero with the 2 towers falling on them, you're finding pieces of rebar to break ramps off of.
2 towers, Lord of the Rings.
I mean the World Trade Center.
I gotta say, man,
Oh.
this is the closest we can get to Smash TV, but in racing form. They did like if this was kind of like early streamer like times when this game was released, I could only imagine this game now with audience participation.
Oh, bro.
Could you imagine like your chat betting you to win or lose, and then the ones that are betting you to lose are putting credits in from your channel to cause these accidents to you?
Right?
That's gaming interactive right there.
I was just thinking back to, the first Attack on Titan, how, there was that Twitch integration, and I'm thinking, something like that for a split second, that would get chaotic in a hurry.
I don't think the homies know about that one. You might have to explain that to people, because it's the one Twitch integration that made sense to me. Like, well, well, fuck it, I'll explain it. In Attack on Titan, the first one, it had built-in Twitch integration. Didn't matter if you were playing on PC or if you were streaming it from a console. The audience, like, you're always running low on supplies in Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Like, you always need gas for your 3DM, right? For your 3D maneuvering gear. And blades are deeply, deeply disposable. And people can actually type into chat, right? Like, they can issue a command to issue you supplies, which you're like, oh no, I'm up against the boss of this map, and you're like, I got 1 gas tank and half of a blade left, right? And you're big. And it's like, chat, help. And it's like everyone's like kind of watching, like they get invested because they are participating in the game. Like your failure or success can be tied to the audience, and that's very exciting. But boy, I've seen some horrifying stuff happen with Twitch integrations in games where it's like, hey, you can alter the difficulty. I once had someone who was like, nope, I'm just gonna fuck you at every turn because it's entertaining to me. And I'm like, why are you fucking with me?
Like, you're so mean.
No, it was like it was very spiteful driven. I was like, this isn't fun. I'm just not gonna play this. Like mix it up, do something different. It's like, nope, I'm gonna try and give you every horrifying penalty just because I want to watch you suffer. I'm like, what the fuck is this nonsense?
Which game was this?
God, what was it called? It started with the hashtag, which it was something weird. Was it Destroy All Zombies? It was something like that. I would have to find it. I still have it in my library, but no, it was a very stressful thing to play, and I was like, okay, I'm not playing this for people to just be mean to me. I'm like, no. I'm like, let's go on somewhere
when
else
chat is actually bullying you.
I was in fact being fucking bullied by chat. I was like, nah, no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm like, I'm good.
Man, I'm just watching this again. And I'm like, man, Disney, what are you doing with this IP? What are you doing with this thing?
Well, I mean, Disney Interactive was the publisher.
Who owns it? Who can make Split Second 2 happen?
That's a good question. I need to take a quick look to see who still has the IP for that. Like if Disney does in fact own the IP.
I did find it. It was Kill All Zombies.
Kill All Zombies.
Aha.
And I'm assuming they can control like the horde and stuff like that.
There's so many things that they can actually affect. Like it was insane.
Insane. Sweet. God.
And it's another very small game. It's like 185 megabytes.
Word? Okay, so yeah, Disney does own the IP.
There we go. We're in trouble. The mouse has it. The mouse.
Although Disney shut down Black Rock Studio in 2011 and never produced a sequel, they still have retained the rights to the IP.
That's what I was afraid of, because they just want to own it so nobody else can do anything with it, and then do nothing with it. Oh
That's a sad state of affairs.
man.
Hello, LucasArts.
Right. All right. What we got next, guys?
Ooh, we have a classic next.
Oh yeah.
Yep. There's gonna be some big old feelings.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Let the
There's-
feelings commence.
Yep.
This was
So
Capcom was going through it in this era.
in the just as an aside, Castlevania 2 released in 1988. Ace and I talk about this in Philosophy of Game, and the original Bionic Commando came out that same year.
Oh, really?
Yes, came out in 88. So again, I'm 6 and he's not Blazing Ace Nelson. He's baby Ace Nelson.
I'm matched.
Bionic Commando is a series that is very near and dear to my heart, purely based on the idea that it's one man who is having to go and do the work of many, and he's built on something different, right? He's built different. Bionic Commando 2009, let's just be straight up and real about it. Bionic Commando 2009 is not like Bionic Commando on the NES. It just isn't. It's a very different style of game, whereas Bionic Commando on the NES is almost very RPG light. There are upgrades, there are backtracking through stages you need to do. It's more puzzle oriented and focused, whereas Bionic Commando 2009 is more action focused and just moving through stages and things like that. And definitely it caught a bad rap. It is the game that catches major flack for this era in Capcom history. Like, what would you say, for a 3-4 year window there, where Capcom was just doing stuff that was just really annoying basically everyone on Earth? From Bionic Commando, this was not developed in-house. This was developed by Grin, and they would go on to become, I believe, Capcom Vancouver. I think the same company, oddly enough, they did a great thing. They did a remaster or a remake of the original Bionic Commando, which is very accurate and very faithful, with Bionic Commando Rearmed, right, leading into this releasing. And there is even DLC like kind of tied together. Hey, if you have Bionic Commando Rearmed, you can just actually have the classic Rad Spencer look instead of weird dreadlocks. Like, what are you doing in this prison, man? And it really threw people. I mean, from the mood to the tone to the gameplay. The voice actor was the lead singer from Faith No More.
Way.
Yeah,
crazy.
it was a trip. And back when this came out, I just got it. It made sense. I'm like, I'm not playing Bionic Commando. I'm playing a sequel literally decades later. Give it room to breathe and let it do whatever it's trying to do. Give it room to impress me and or disappoint me in equal measure. And I walked away from Bionic Commando with such strong feelings, even though the story is questionable at best. I mean, come on, people clown on the actual story fairly, justifiably so, right? Like, oh, what's going on with his bionic arm? How does it work? Oh, the soul of your dead wife is in it. That's how bionics work. Like, what? Excuse me?
I couldn't hold that in. That's crazy.
His wife is named Emily, and even internally, they thought it was stupid too. And so they were calling it Armily because they were like, this is the most nonsensical thing I've ever heard. But mechanically, the game is so fun. The swing mechanics are fun. The way that you use your arm in combat, like right there in the footage, what he's supposed to be doing is doing an air hike, which is where he's just going to kick that up into the air, and then you just whip that whole damn box. As far as if you can target an enemy, you will yeet that shit across here. But the biggest criticisms of the game often came from invisible walls, right? Because that was a big thing that was happening in games at this point in history. And so the invisible walls were, oh, the city is irradiated, And so you would find yourself just instantly dying to a radiation hazard that you don't even know is going on. But in spite of it all, I love Bionic Commando 2009, and I think it has a place in the pantheon of, bringing back old IP and making it fucking work again. Right? Was it the perfect execution? No, not at all. But by God, it was fun. One of the best tracks from that game is called The Gauntlet. And I'll tell you right now, when the shit hits the fan in this game and in other games, I immediately start playing that in my head because there's a tempo, there's a way that it gets going. And then finally, the number one reason that it is so close to my heart, I don't care what anyone says, I'll love the game for all time. It's one of the main piano theme from this, is a remake of Heatwave from the original Bionic Commando. And it's one of the first songs that my son learned how to play on piano perfectly.
Nice.
And he did a quote unquote recital on Twitch where he actually just put on a performance of 5-6 songs that he knew, and people just got to see him go through that all the way. That's my son's first recital, was playing music from Bionic Commando. I don't care what anybody says. It's goated, right? It's just always going to be a thing. And to see that passed on to my son, you're going to know about the Bionic Commando and what it means to put everything you have out there on the line, because it's the thing that needs to get done. And then finally, Bionic Commando, the original on the NES, is a sequel, which is always fun to me to tell people that. It's like, actually, that's not the first game. The Bionic Commando 2009 is the third game. Bionic Commando is a sequel to the arcade game. Let's see if you can find that real quick, of Commando, right? Where actually, like, it's like, who is Super Joe? Who the hell cares about Super Joe? Why is Super Joe part of this massive plot? It's like, oh, because Super Joe was actually the protagonist of the original Commando game, right? So when they follow up with Bionic Commando, you're going to rescue the protag from the original. And then the thing that just pissed people off is ultimately Super Joe is now the villain in Bionic Commando 2009.
What? Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, no, he's the bad guy. And you're just like, man, this is just a whole history of depression.
I love Commando. The only thing I didn't hate. Okay, so one thing I'll add about this game right here, this had to go up against Ikari Warriors, which had like the knob on the joystick to like make you strafe. This did not have that on the arcade. It's just straight classic joystick, and it was really hard to aim from for little baby James.
So, looking at this is the bigger point I want to make. If we have these three games, we have Commando, Bionic Commando, and then Bionic Commando 2009. None of them are the same kind of game.
Nope.
At all. It's like, this is a top-down shooter. The sequel was a side-scrolling RPG light, almost, again, in that period, because we hadn't come up with the Metroidvania format, but you could see people were messing with the idea. That's a whole different game from this, and Bionic Commando 2009 is different. The history of Bionic Commando is different.
Yeah.
The history of the Commando series is, none of them are the same, so... But people didn't want to look at it like that, and they just wanted to be mad. And it's like, well, just sit down and play it and enjoy it for what it is, brother. Like, that's it, right? Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, come on, look at this. This is goofy as hell, but I'm here for it.
Like,
right?
Finding that out makes me finding that out that all the Commando games are like related. That gives me hope for Gunsmoke, because I love Gunsmoke. Nobody knows what that game is but me.
You brought up Gunsmoke. Damn.
That's right. You got competition on this stream. I know these weird games
with that classic Capcom cover boy. Like, but hey,
it's so good. It's so good, man.
I miss the grid. And bad box art Mega Man. These guys were hustling back in the day. But no, that was my game. Like, I'll always cherish Bionic Commando because it taught me a lot about myself.
All right on. And now your son is part of the legacy as well.
And now my son is part of that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Now here's an man. Capcom seems to be like the time or the company for this this week in Memory Card Chronicles, because my pick for the next day, the 18th or the 20th, is AVP. No, not
Another
the
absolute banger.
not the weird Atari one, right? Not the Super Nintendo one. The arcade beat 'em up that we never got, and is locked in some weird joystick peripheral that was released in Europe. So that hopefully we get this game in some way or form, because technically Alien is a Disney princess now. So this is Alien versus Predator, one of the best beat 'em ups ever made. I thought The Punisher was one of the best beat 'em ups ever made. Then they released this bad boy, and I was like, wow, I was wrong. This is the best beat 'em up ever made, because here's some fun facts about AVP. Now, this was a classic beat 'em up from 1994, and it was developed and released by Capcom for the CP System 2 arcade board, the same era where Capcom was cooking with arcade brawlers. So Punisher, Cadillac vs. Dinosaurs, all those beat 'em ups that share the same kind of color palette and animations come from this same arcade board.
And of course, the CP2 is also the system where we debuted Super Street Fighter 2.
Yep, and then the Alpha series and so on.
Darkstalkers.
Yep, it's a really good board. Like it lasted for a long time. I'd say over like 6-7 years was pretty accurate. I already said this, but the other fun fact is this game just never got a home console port. Despite being one of Capcom's most beloved arcade beat 'em ups, the 1994 arcade game was never officially ported to home systems. That made it one of those you had to be there at the arcade games for the longest time. Now, if you're familiar with MAME and emulation, of course, this is one of the first games you probably emulated, so you can play it at home.
Yep.
Right? But officially, you can't play this and buy this on anything except that weird peripheral, the Capcom arcade stick. As you're seeing on the screen here, the third fun fact is that you can both play as the humans and the predators, which is super cool, because I thought you were only able to play as the humans, but no, you can play as the predators as well. There's 2 humans and 2 characters, exactly as you see on the screen here. Major Dutch Schaefer from Predator the movie, and the Capcom sweetheart that's lost into history archives is Lynn Kurosawa. Hopefully we get her back in some way or form, besides as a background character. So yeah, well, shout out to for Fox and Disney for having this, and hopefully they're merciful and we get Capcom beat 'em up 2 and this is in it, right? Or something, please. I'm sweating over here. This is great. What's your guys' experience or take on this arcade sweetheart?
First and foremost, I'm looking up that Capcom home arcade, and that's a weird fucking thing.
Yeah, I know. I told you.
It's a giant Capcom logo. Like it's the logo, but with arcade sticks in it. That's crazy to look at.
Yep.
But I mean, exactly as you said, the game is goated. I mean, I don't know if people realize that when they were looking on screen, that was Dutch. That was supposed to be Arnold with a fucking mechanical arm, because that was all the rage at this point in history. I mean, we got Jax in Mortal Kombat. He's got 2. But getting in there and just the very idea of, oh wait, we could put these franchises together and then whoop that ass with impunity. Like, come on, this is one of the peak things. If that predator eats that cheese, I you know what? That's not even an idea I had even fucking considered ever before this moment. Like, everybody, let's stop and take a moment and consider. I've never seen a predator eat.
That's true.
That would be the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I need the predator to have a baguette and a brioche and a charcuterie board, and he's just hanging out in a tree fucking eating. He's like, damn, this shit's good.
Man, now you got me thinking, because I watched the latest Predator movie, and I don't remember seeing him eat in that movie either. That's wow. I got to go back and watch that. These are weird things that you pick up while hanging out with Oliver.
Yeah, it's just you think think about it, like they don't ever eat anything. They bleed. If you see them go through the whole process of deboning a chicken. And when I say deboning a chicken, I mean yanking a motherfucker's spine out. But you're like, what do these guys eat exactly?
It's funny that you literally mentioned chicken, considering what Cinerus just put in the chat.
Oh dear.
Chicken. That'd be cool. That's
the thing. It's such a great game. I mean, and when seeing this in the arcade, right? Just the sheer Capcom pixel artwork in that time is still like, it's only just now started to be rivaled, right? With the last game that we looked at, right? with Disco or sorry, Neo Inferno.
Neon Inferno.
And it's like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. Like, no, Capcom had it locked down in this time. Like, they just kept getting better. It's every year, multiple brawlers would come out, and you could see that they were really learning as they went, and it just got better and better and better with time. I mean, people would do an immense amount of work in this time to make this. Like, even with all the resources and all the tools that we have and blah, blah, no, this would still take an immense amount of work to just pull off this moveset and these backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The sheer number of aliens on screen at the same time, along with our player character, and not having any slowdown. That shit was a technological marvel.
3 player characters.
Right, with up to 3 people going in there whooping ass. Like, no, this is actual technological marvel for its time, and arguably still is.
And then just really quickly, since we've been talking a lot about the audio visual merits of this thing, but let's get down to the mechanics really quickly, because the action itself and the control that you have over your characters. I mean, yeah, Dutch is your big grappler, and Lynn's the speed demon, but then the different ways that both of your predators move, like the different moves that they have, and the little, like, the jumps that they have to, like, spring forward and just launch their assaults, not to mention the weapons that they use. There was so much technique just in getting your hands on the stick and playing.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of differentiating each character. The 2 predators were similar a little bit. Their input commands were different. I think, like, the one with the glaive had a short Yukin, and then the spear predator had like a weird, like, hurricane kick or something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it was. And then Kurosawa had like a Chun-Li head stomp, and Dutch had like a spinning pile driver or something like that. It was Capcom coded 100%, and it's just a beauty and a shame that it's trapped literally in a Capcom hardware. That's where it's trapped in. I'm gonna see if I can find a photo for you guys, and I'll share it on X, or one of you guys can do that. But this arcade stick is pretty wild to look at. All right, so on the 21st, looks like, I thought I already had it clicked. My bad. My fault.
On the 21st,
we got something that I used to love playing, but cannot play it anymore.
Yep. So much like with Burnout, with Street Fighter, and pretty much every other game that I have ever really gotten locked in on, I always manage to take a look for what's out there that could exist in a similar space. What if Monster Hunter wasn't the only one to do it? What I wound up finding was games like Toukiden, God Eater, Freedom Wars, and what we got right here for the 21st, Dauntless. Now,
damn, that's the most dauntless fucking salmon I've ever seen. That was a big cut. That was
like,
woo.
They had like half the fish right there.
There we go.
But anyway, get into Dauntless. So the first thing that came to mind when I saw that this game was coming out and decided to download it was like, oh, this is Monster Hunter Fortnite.
Oh no, stop it. I hate that.
But as I sat down and actually started playing through the game, a lot a lot of its unique mechanics and a lot of its unique, a lot of its unique opponents, started making themselves apparent. And it's like, it felt a good deal more like a like a sort of arcade style Monster Hunter in its presentation and in how the gameplay flowed. And then of course, one of your earliest behemoths, one of your first major monsters is, the Proto Grit Dog.
You bring it up, my boy. Grit Dog. Woo, I've never got my ass beat so badly by a mid-tier monster in a game.
But what was really unique about this was the actual mechanics behind each of the weapons. That's the thing that really caught me. Because, with the sword, once you actually power it up and use its particular ability, you see those energy waves coming off of it. It's some Dark Souls and some Armored Core shit. If you find the Moonlight Sword, there you go. But this was the one hunting game, and I will forever stand dauntless for this one thing, because there has been no other hunting title that has done this. This game gave us gauntlets.
Tokiden didn't have
Throw
gauntlets.
hands.
Tokiden didn't have gauntlet dates?
Nope.
Really? I felt like I did. Okay, it's just me.
But yeah, when you and it was in an update, but this game did in fact have a gauntlet weapon set, and you can roll up and just start throwing hands with these behemoths. And there was like 3 different techniques or 3 different stances you could use with it. And once you powered it up to that 3rd technique, yeah, you are firing off a Marvel versus Capcom beam.
No, Big Boss is right. Tokiden did have gauntlets.
Which one, Kiwami or the OG? I mean, they should both.
The OG on Vita.
Oh, okay.
That would explain that.
On Vita and in Tokiden 2.
I don't remember finding them in 2.
It's been a while. Take a look back.
I'm gonna have to go back to that.
Yeah.
He said, "Word."
Word? Looks like Jago's got stuff to say in chat about this game. Ace, what you think about that?
Absolutely. And Jagos is 100% right. Good game, bad direction. Largely because, just like you said, the game is currently in the hands of a venture capitalist, and one of the major champions for it on the development team left the company because investors had changed it for the worse.
We know what that means. Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, Dauntless is unfortunately shut down now.
Boo! It was
last
actually
year, right around this time.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I played that game for 20 minutes and never looked back. I was very hyped for it, just like everyone else. And then I saw that they're like, oh no, you will multiplayer with people and you do not have a choice. And I was like, I don't even get much of an ability to, and this is like early in the beta, right? Like, I don't have a choice on whether I'm going to choose what I'm hunting or who I'm hunting with. And the monetization was right in your face, quick, fast, and early, right? Like Assassin's Creed Origins. I was like, y'all have fundamentally missed the point. And I just turned around and walked the opposite direction, and I never spoke of the game again. I said, this is not worthy of my time nor my attention, right? But to be fair, people trying to clone Monster Hunter, whoa, boy, there's a struggle with that. Like, its mechanics are so unique and so particularly designed that replicating that is historically been very hard, right? So I'm not knocking them on look at you trying to make a Monster Hunter game. No, it's just like it's really hard for people to pull that off. I mean, even Tokiden, which is way closer to Monster Hunter, not successful. right? Like it's not. Wild Hearts, who is easily the closest, not successful. Damn good game, but just didn't get the chance. Like Monster Hunter, they got that whole genre locked up, right? Like this is
Yeah,
not a Silent Hill situation.
and yeah, it's just again a lot of the back. What's the word? A lot of the direction in the back of the house, as far as Dauntless goes, just I mean it basically killed it in the cradle.
Yeah, don't blame the devs. Blame the guys that want to make money off the game. Just
Many
like
such
this
cases.
really weird, just like this really weird peripheral, what we were just talking about.
There you go.
This is where you can only play AVP, the Capcom arcade game, by plugging this bad boy into your TV. What the hell is this? So it is, if you're a Capcom fan, this is fantastic. But did you guys even hear about this release? Where to buy one? Did Capcom, what 16 games are in it? There's no advertising for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I do remember when it was mentioned. It is ungodly expensive.
Yeah, there's not a lot of made from what I remember.
You're gonna pay at least $500 for it,
Oh no.
and I'm not. I'm just not that excited.
Yeah, you keep this in the closet and never open it for $500. Unfortunately, you know what? This reminds me of. Do you guys remember? Was it like X Gaming or something like that, where it was like a joystick that you plug into the TV and you get arcade games?
Mhm.
Maybe this is what they were trying to compete with that. Capcom was like, "Oh, let's make our own," because that thing. What the funny thing is, the X Gaming thing was like a MAME emulator built into the joystick, right? So I think they were trying to copy that at that time because this was like what late 2000s or early 2010s or late 2000s in general when this thing was released.
What,
Well,
the
what are-
Capcom Home Arcade?
Yeah, it's like
No,
2013.
2019.
Wow,
2019.
2019. Wow, it's pretty
Yeah.
new. What the heck? 6 years, only 6 years old. Oh man, get that thing out of my face. It is an attack on the eyeballs and the wallet. So, speaking of attack, this is a game I personally have on my 2 playlists. Oliver, don't spoil anything for me. I will eat you alive. Just like this
Don't
game.
worry, you cannot be spoiled. It is actually impossible to spoil the game.
Ooh,
This is one of those games that I adored. I adored
Yes.
because I keep talking about perfect execution of your idea, not perfect game, not bug-free game, but it's like, did you fully realize what you were trying to do, right? Where it's like, what is perfect execution? It's when I go, I don't have any notes to add, or go, well, you should have done this, or you should have done that, or why did you miss this obvious? No, Maneater was a chuckle a fucking minute. You're a damn shark. Do shark shit. I'm like, it's exactly what it says on the tin. You're like, oh, Maneater, what do I do in this? Do I play as a shark? You get in the game, you doing shark shit. You terrorizing people, right?
That's
But the real magical mechanic is it's RPG like, right?
No way.
You've got little stat trees. You have mutations, right, as your evolution. The way you jumping up and getting people in the damn floating birds and shit like that, and people who are lazing on the beach. That's where it really gets fun, because it's like eventually you will mutate to be able to breathe a certain extent out of water. So your ass, you will do dumb shit like, oh look, here's a golf course that's right by the bay, and it's like, y'all fucked up today, because you will jump out of the water and bounce your ass across the 9-hole course, just biting people in their golf cart. You're like, you know what? This has gotten the fuck out of hand, and you're here for it. You're like, oh, this is a game that just takes its premise, runs with the absurdity, and then lets you go do it. And you're like, I had a great time just being silly. It's Jaws the game, except you playing as Jaws, and you're going to get up on land and go cause yourself a little micro ruckus,
Yeah.
right? But in addition, right, you have human threats that you, like, okay, let me break it down to you like this. This is Grand Theft Auto underwater. It's like, what do you mean by that? It means those hunter boats, no, you build up a rating just like the wanted rating. People know that there's a very dangerous shark roaming around. They will send hunters to come collect you, right, and try to light you up, and it gets very challenging at times. But from start to finish, it was just a hoot of a game because it's unapologetic. Look, the amount of blood we've seen on the screen in the past 30 seconds is not minimal. It's an actual bloodbath of a game. When it launched, it had some little very minor performance issues, but nothing that would stop you from playing the game. You're always, kind of looking around in the almost Tony Hawk like sense of, hey, I wonder if there's a collectible here. I wonder if there's one here. I wonder where and how I need to get that. Oh, I need to leap out of the water in a certain way and bounce off of this. You're doing a belly grind, trying to get shit.
So you're looking at trick runs then.
Yes, it's really ridiculous. It's like you guys knew exactly what you wanted, and here's the icing on top. The game is shot like almost like a Discovery Channel documentary of a shark hunter trying to track you down. So like cutscenes are this guy going, nope, I know about this shark, blah 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 blah. So you have these cutoffs and that, and you're just like, oh, this is just top fucking comedy. It knew what it wanted to be from the start. They followed through. They executed on it, and because you're a shark, you don't see. There's the guy. This is the documentary.
Awesome.
And the way that the game is set up, you don't have any expectations of how it's going to end. Right? It's like, oh, how is this story going to play out? You're a fucking shark. It's going to be some shark shit. Like, don't worry about it. Just get in there and go eat some people. Go in the bayou. Cause some problems. Right? No, it's very, very fun. And it is definitely a game that, to this day, I can still recommend. 6 years later, no, hands down.
6 years later, insert coin. Be shark.
It's kind of like, you know how Death Road to Canada, you've never had so much fun losing a game. With Maneater, you're just going to have fun causing problems. Just on purpose. Like, that's literally it. In fact, so much so that I'm just going to go ahead and put that right now, because I'm actually struggling to find great games for Watchdog this week, and we'll get into that later. But I'm adding it to the list because I found a great sale price on it. An amazing one.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, chat, I'm probably going to play that on the next Weekend Warrior.
It's a damn good one.
Because I on the Weekend Warrior, I like playing games that are just like one shots. Like, I don't have to like continue, and like smaller games. Stay away from big games. Go back to the small games. I'm all about that right now. Now, the next game and the last game for the week, I would argue it was a small game, and then fans turned it into a big game. It kind of had the same history as Final Fantasy, I think, slightly, because this game is Fire Emblem, the series, specifically the Sacred Stones. Now, this game wasn't really celebrated too much for Nintendo until Fates had released, and that was like their magnum opus of Fire Emblem, and that's when everybody started loving Fire Emblem after that. Now, my choice for this game, I actually had played. This was my second Fire Emblem game I played on. In general, the first one I played was on the DS, Shadow of the Dragon. That's the one with Marth. That's the OG one, and then this one was like the second one I played because I really wanted to go back to the retro look. So here's some 3 fun facts about specifically the Sacred Stones on the Game Boy Advance. Now, this was actually the last Fire Emblem game released for the GBA. Sacred Stones was the third and final Fire Emblem game on the Game Boy Advance, following Binding Blade in Japan and Fire Emblem, just a standard one. I think it was a remake of the first one, also known as the Blazing Blade internationally. Your game index also lists this in my GBA collection because was in my GBA collection. I don't have it. I don't have it in a box though, but I do have the cart, and that's all I care about. Now, this also brought back the world map and optional grinding, because back in the day you would just play stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and then basically sort out your XP to your favorite units. But unlike previous GBA, Fire Emblem Sacred Stones lets players travel across a world map, revisit locations, fight random encounters, and grind in places like the Tower of Valny. That made it one of the more beginner-friendly classic Fire Emblem games. A lot of the purists hate that, right? But hey, play the game the way you want to play. Now, this also had a split story route, depending on what part of the country you're from. After the early chapters, the story lets you follow either Erika or Ephraim, each with different chapters and perspectives. Same war, different route energy, almost like the game was saying, pick your lord, pick your drama. I think they were like brother and sister or something like that. But that was really cool. You had 2 protagonists, and depending on which one you picked, which was later on kind of like repeated in Fates, right? You pick one faction and you play that faction from their perspective. You replay the game as the other faction, and then you get their perspective. I thought that was really clever of how you can add at least 1 round of replay value to a game. So that's pretty cool. Are you guys fans of Fire Emblem in general, or do you have any thoughts on the series at all?
The first of the Fire Emblem games that I really started paying attention to, and this is like even beyond, my limited experience with Smash Brothers, was Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube.
Brother, you went in. That's the GOAT. I love
I'm
that
sorry,
one.
Ike is my man's.
Bro,
but
dude, I love that one.
but
The only thing I know about Fire Emblem is Roy and Marth in Smash Brothers. That's
There you
it.
go. There you go. Like
But
most
one of the-
people.
one of the things I actually kind of liked about Fire Emblem after actually sitting down and like looking at some of the gameplay though was how, and it's just a small thing, but how they actually like differentiated between the normal and critical attacks for each of the characters. Because for their critical attacks, they would actually go into some pretty flashy and pretty spectacular moves compared to their normals. And this is, imagine me as as a Fire Emblem unit. My basic attack would just be like a quick little 1-2 combo, quick little 2-piece, but my critical hit would very likely be something like a Shoryuken.
Yeah, Fire Emblem was like if you had a crit, like your guy would do their ability, right? Like Ike's was like a double cross slash or something like that, in his. But then some others would be like maybe a very fancy attack that it would just happen. It would proc whenever you would hit something. In this one, like what just happened there, that's because the weapon was actually stronger, was made to counter that specific other weapon. That's why it would do that. But later on in like the GBA, the GameCube and the Wii, they really went in on the animations for those, which is, by the way, those are like super rare games on the GameCube and Wii. All right. Well, I hope to. I don't know. Like, I actually stopped playing Fire Emblem after Fates. I thought like it's very hipster of me to be like, oh, everybody started liking it, so I stopped playing it. I think it was just me going like, I think I had my fill. I'm gonna go back to XCOM. That's kind of what I just did. I'm not hating on it whatsoever. I know the mobile game was a huge success for them, and that's it. Like, I don't follow or get excited for Fire Emblem, really, to be honest with you. So,
what I'd still like to eventually do though is pick up one of the. Y'all should already know where I'm going with this. I eventually want to pick up the Fire Emblem Musou and play that.
That'd be great. Oh, that one's Three Houses? No, Warriors, right? Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. I know that exists, and I think there was a second one too, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, yeah, that's super cool. Props to Nintendo for making Musos out of their IPs. That's great. I love that because nobody else is. If you think about it, well, Three Houses is a Muso, or you're just saying it's good, Jagos. But yeah, with that said, that is this week in gaming history, Memory Card Chronicles.
It was a good one this week.
So with that said, though, before we move on,
What happened?
before we move on, I'm gonna need everyone to take a look at the screen real quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yes sir.
So go ahead and bring us up there. Yeah.
How dare you put my wife on screen?
Hey, she was my wife first. Get back off.
Young man. I was there. No, I'll fight people over Quistis. Yes, sir. Yes,
You can have her, Noah.
Listen, man.
Okay, I do have her, but I want her too.
I'm gonna get into a story, but let me finish this up really quick because apparently Quistis Trepp has taken a break from teaching at Balam Garden and transferred over to the Gamer Quotient Gaming Academy. And honestly, it makes sense. Lucky for us. She's got the glasses, she's got the instructor energy, she's got the laptop, and that laptop fully decked out with Gamer Quotient stickers, like it just passed seed exams with extra credit. We've got Guy, the strategy student, Quinn, the transfer student, the Guy and Quinn team up sticker, and of course the Gamer Quotient logo, all showing up like they're ready for homeroom, boss fights, and at least 3 unnecessary side quests. And look, Quistis may have her whip, her lessons plans, her calm, I'm disappointed but not surprised teacher stare. But even she knows your setup needs a little personality. And that's where the Gamer Quotient sticker collection comes in. These stickers are perfect for your laptop, your water bottle, your notebook, your Steam Deck case, your flight stick, your fight stick, your gaming desk, or whatever piece of gear is currently sitting there looking like it still needs to enroll.
Light stick too, if you have it.
So don't leave your setup sitting at level 1. Let Guy and Quinn join the party, rep the academy, and give your gear that class is in session energy. Head over to the usual spot, gamerquotient-shop.fourthwall.com. That's gamerquotient-shop.fourthwall.com. Grab the stickers, support the show, and remember to always be asking yourself that age-old question. What is your Gamer Quotient?
Lock in, chat. Lock in. You guys are here. If you like Guy, you guys like Quinn. By the way, these things are holographic. They're like foil stickers. So they're pretty cool. Check them out. I've been kind of like showing these off at work and to all the girls that support. Like, oh, they're so cute. You know? So what one day we'll get them. We'll get them all. So thanks for that, Ace. Appreciate you. Where's my there it is. Hell yeah. Let's go. All right. Speaking of spending money and trying to save money, what you got us for this? What you got for us this week, Mr. Watchdog?
Woof. So, wow, that definitely does not look like me at all.
I know, it's an old one. I gotta update it. I gotta update that.
I'm like, oh, it's my son.
Future.
So, for this week, it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. Basically what happened is we came off all those absolutely baller spring sales, right? We just came off that like a month ago, and now everything's kind of hitting a lull. Like just across the board, the sales are kind of like the same. It's like, hey, here's Mortal Kombat 1. And you're like, oh, okay. And everything is oddly priced pretty high in the generally speaking, like $23 to $27. I was like, nope, I'm not going to tell them to go spend more money. So what I wanted to do is I actually wanted to focus on just a couple of titles this week. And I wanted to give some time and a shout out to a game that definitely, let's just straight up say it, got fucked over well over a decade ago. Not by anything that they did wrong, but that unfortunate you put this out at the wrong time and you didn't know. And that's it. It turned into a tragedy. So the game that we're gonna put a little emphasis on comes right after this. So when we were talking about Maneater, yeah, you can get Maneater on Steam because basically Steam is doing a fucking Shark Week this week. Apparently, like all just ocean games are kind of their thing right now, and Maneater is $6 on Steam, not on any other platform, right? No, you're still gonna pay like damn near full price for Maneater everywhere else, but on Steam it's $6. Don't be a dummy. Go buy it. It's $6 worth of chuckles a minute. You'd be like, hey, yeah, I ate like 487 people this week. It's a good time, right? So he's gonna play it. He's gonna play it on his stream, and I'm telling everybody, yes, absolutely, absolutely, pick that up. Like, no, it's a win. But the game that we're really gonna focus on here, that is priced lower than usual, right? But it's tricky. We're gonna talk about Mad Max. Now, historically, Mad Max came out on the same damn day as Metal Gear Solid 5. Jesus. If you're gonna release on a day, you're like, that's not the one. It's just like the devs that got all really mad when Hades 2 entered early access. They're like, you fucked our game. Because Hades is such a big game. But the Mad Max game may be one of the best film tie-in games I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is related to the Mad Max film with Tom Hardy, but it is not directly tied in. So it's like, hey, here's these different characters who are kind of loosely connected to the film, but you can enjoy it completely standalone from Fury Road. Like, you don't need to know anything going on with Fury Road to enjoy this game. And it's they took these little components, Avalanche Studios, they took different components from different things and really made it great. You have Arkham style combat, right? If you like Dennis Disco, you're gonna like this, except you beating someone's ass over a canteen of water. The car mechanics are just fun, right? You're gonna, to go back to that split second thing, think split second, except you're gonna be ripping the components off of people's cars while going 120 miles an hour, right? If you see a dude and you're like, you know what, I need that car to stop quick, fast, in a hurry, you're gonna have that little homie there, Chum Bucket. You're gonna have him fire a harpoon right into that guy's tire and just yank the entire damn wheel off the car.
Oh,
right.
well,
And then
then
if you got him to stop, you might
Car
have to jump
violence.
out and start throwing hands. It's like, wait a minute, where are the guns? Oh yeah, there are homemade guns. Yeah, like you could totally just blow a guy's brains out while you're driving, like, and just have him like just watch this car just absolutely turn into ungodly levels of destruction. There's a little bit of exploration. There's bunker busting, right? Like in a way, it's like, oh, there's all these little outposts and strongholds that you're going to need to go in. You might need to do some very light, I mean light stealth, right? And take out defenses around the bases. So there'll be a guy who there's obviously there's snipers, right? And you can see those beams, so you're gonna have to come up with your own sniper rifle and take those guys out so that you can infiltrate easier. And then again, because it's based on Fury Road and the War Boys and how they psych each other up, you might get yourself into a free flow combat situation, but there's a guy that's playing a drum and he's literally buffing all the guys in the arena. And it's like, you got to figure out how to get that guy out of the way, or else these guys are going to hit you like a truck. And it's just such a good game where like you actually feel like you're in a post-apocalypse. Everything is awful, right? I've had a lot of criticisms of Fallout over the years just because of, wait a minute, it's been 200 years since your apocalypse, and you're like, hey, we're going to New Vegas. Look at this fancy dress I have. I'm like, bitch, do you know how to invent a broom? Like, why don't you clean up some of that debris? If we're trying to get re-civilized, act like it, right? It's just weird inconsistencies in the world. That does not happen in Mad Max. It's awful. Everything is awful. It's all it's all trash fires as you see on screen. You're barely grabbing, like, you might occasionally find little remnants of the old world, but just getting your hands on some water feels like a victory. Finding some dog food, like a tin can of dog food, and you're just cramming it in your mouth and you're happy to do it. Like, it's rough. It's rough out there on the streets. It's it's I'm like, welcome to Oakland. Like, it's a rough place, and you just keep getting stronger, you get more powerful, but he's the OG anti-hero. You have no reason to cheer for this guy, but in a world that's gone to hell in a handbasket, he's the guy you want to cheer on. And what's really, really special about it is that it also kind of ties back into the original Mad Max and the Road Warrior and all that, where he's remembering he had a wife, he had a family. And so you live level by going on these little vision quests.
Oh.
And that guy right there basically blows. I'm like, I don't know. I think he just blows cocaine in your face, and you and you're like, hey man, what the fuck, right? And that's how you level up your skills and stuff. And he tells you more about what you're doing. He's like, you're not just wandering, right? You're searching for something, and you're like, whoa, like there's heavy stuff. And ultimately, Max is just trying to get his car back. You lose it right at the beginning of the game. So the car you're driving is not the actual black on black as it's known, but the car you're driving is the Magnum Opus. And of course, you have a dog. You have a dog, and you have a Chum Bucket is the name of that character, and he's the one who's your mechanic. And you do all kinds of crazy stuff in the game, like you can tell him to get out on the hood of the car while you're driving and repair it because your engine's on fire. You're like, this is
Jesus.
nuts. So like, you got people climbing around on vehicles and doing stuff, and you're pulling out your pipe shotgun and blowing holes in tires and using harpoons and like literally changing the trajectory of how someone's driving. And so you got these two separate, really well structured. They're not perfect, not at all, but they're well structured game mechanics of things you're doing on foot, what you're doing as far as firearms go. Bullets are rare, so you need to be really mindful. You're doing favors. You're setting up factions. You're kind of doing very slight Assassin's Creed kind of tower stuff, taking control of areas back and all that. It's a very robust game. And so the prices for this across the board on Steam, it's $19.99. On PSN, it's $19.99. I haven't gotten the price for the Switch. I'm not sure if it's on the Switch. But no, it is not available on the Switch. But the best price and the best version, I'll tell you right now, is on the Xbox. And the Xbox version of that goes for $5.
What?
If it's a $5, and here's why it's the best version. Because they ended up with Xbox Game Boost. That game is actually a 30 frames per second game. The Xbox kicks it up to 60. And it is magnificent. It's wonderful. I've already played it myself. I was like, oh, this is the way the game was meant to be played. Oh no, it's absolute peak. And if you were to ask me now, it's like, wait, so both those games came out on the same day? Yes, they did. If you have to tell people to go play one game, Metal Gear Solid 5 or Mad Max, for sheer satisfaction of the game and going, man, that was just a good time, I'm going to tell you to go play Mad Max. Easily, hands down. There's so much to do. There's racing, there's time trials, all kinds of stuff going on there. It's fucking robust is the only way to put it. And I didn't even get into the mechanics of generating resources when you're not playing like ball pit.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. Like that was a whole thing. That
That's
was the whole thing. But they may have like killed. There were some online features of the game that might have been killed. So I'm not sure. But no, the game is just rich and robust. And even then, at $20, I'm still gonna tell you, yeah, pick that up. And this is kind of the point of the Watchdog this week. I only had the two games. Low sales. Summer Game Fest is coming around the corner, guys, which accounts for that, right? It's like, oh yeah, and as we all know, when they're with E3 or Summer Game Fest and all that, that's when developers and publishers really like to put some sales out there. So that's really what I'm anticipating. That's what I'm seeing. I'm going, oh, okay, so we'll keep it low. I did some research and it's getting really hard for me to recommend gaming to people. It'd be like, oh, what should I do with my money? I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, you might want to go check out a baseball game, nephew, or jump into your backlog. Because I just pulled up the actual numbers of hardware, and it's bad. It's really bad out there in the streets. I know a lot of people who actually do know and have jumped in there, but this is for people who don't know. Just in this year, the price increases of hardware is excessive, and I right now, with the exception of the Nintendo Switch 2, it's really hard for me to tell someone to go buy any hardware. Looking at the PS5, right? The base model has gone up by 100. The PS5 Disc Edition currently retails for $650. The digital edition is $600, right? The PS5 Pro is $900 damn dollars.
oh,
I didn't pay
pretty
$900
fast.
for it. That's crazy, right? I'm like, fuck you. I'll go buy a Neo Geo from way back in the day. Nintendo Switch has gone up. The regular Nintendo Switch, not the Switch 2. Regular Nintendo Switch has gone up to like $340, $350, right? And the Switch 2 is now $500 damn dollars. It's $500. Oh, like I bought a PS4 Pro for that, like when that launched.
Yeah,
And then of course
crazy.
the Xbox is really suffering. The Series S with 512 gigabytes went up to $400, right? I remember when my wife got the Series S for me as a Father's Day gift, right? That was like $300. I was like, oh, this is actually a really great entry point for 400. I'm like, I don't know about that. I could buy a Switch too, right? Take it with me, and then of course the I'm trying to find the exact price. The Series X 1 terabyte is $650. And then let's not even get started on video cards, right? So an RTX 5090, I know it's huge. The RTX 5090's original MSRP was $2,000. Yeah, you're gonna pay about $4,000 to $5,000 for that video card, and that's just bonkers. So even if I bring it down to a more reasonable price level for most people, it's still excessive. If you were to get the video card I have right now, RTX 5060 Ti, 16 gigabytes, right? You're going to pay close to 600 for that card, right? Getting an 8 gigabyte video card is still well over $400,
Oh,
right? It's just hitting people hard, and they're going to end up pricing themselves right out of having a market, right? It's just so hard to justify this. And then of course, things like PSN and Game Pass are going up in prices, right? Just across the board. This is getting to be a hard hobby to be in. It just is. So my advice for this week is fuck all that. Go play the shit you already got. Go revisit a game you haven't touched in a decade.
yep.
Right? If you're like, I haven't touched this, in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Fuck it, go back. You again, that distance and time will give you a very different impression, and things that you didn't like before, you might go, and look at it and go, wait a minute, I actually did like this. I was just at a different place in my life. One of my favorite things. I've seen a lot of homies, especially Andre, at revisiting Dying Light, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and they're like, that shit did not hit for me before. Now they're like, wait a minute, this makes sense. It's a great game, but sometimes we just need to have different eyes on stuff. Go
Or
hit
like
your
how-
backlog.
Or like how like how Andre, Chop, and Jagos have all been taking a fresh new look at Muso games because of what I've been doing, going back through my backlog.
And our joke with Death Road to Canada, which we'll be covering on Philosophy of Gaming, I hadn't touched it since 2018. And I looked at my save, and it's like, you have cleared one fucking run of the game. Swear on my life, I've made it to Canada once in that game. I was like, there's no reason for me to not play this right now. Like, oh, are you going to buy this brand new thing that comes out? Oh, this game is $70-$80. I'm like, you know what? Kiss my ass. I got plenty of games that I have just not finished. And I encourage others to do the same, right? Until this stuff kind of shrinks back down. There's ugly lawsuits going around right now, too. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but multiple companies are getting sued right now in class action lawsuits because of all the price hikes that had happened during those tariffs, right? And the companies are like, oh, we had to pay these tariffs, so we have to raise the prices of our goods, right? Now, here's the complication that has arisen from that. Basically, what has happened is it was found that those tariffs were not legal, so the government is having to give the money back to those companies that they charged those tariffs on, right? And the lawsuits are basically going, wait, that means you passed those tariffs on to us, the consumer, and made us pay more prices, which means I'm entitled to a refund, right? Or else they're going to be catching a double benefit. That's the argument that's being made. So it's like, wait, the government's giving the money back and you're keeping our money? So
No.
ultimately, the only one who profited off of this were the companies in that very situation. And people aren't playing. They're going right for the throat on that stuff immediately. I'm like, ooh, boy,
As
this is
they
going to be
should.
this is going to be interesting. Like, I honestly, I think they're going to prevail. But yeah, it's an ugly time. I'll just straight up say it. AI really messed up a lot of stuff in the industry right now, right? Between economic hardship and, AI data centers chewing up all the RAM, yanking up all the video cards. I just didn't think that video games were going to get hit like this, but I think there's going to be a silver lining. I do. I think there's going to be a silver lining. Developers are going to go back into a state that they haven't been in a long time. Scarcity makes people do some real creative shit, and I think them learning how to do more with less is going to become in vogue again. And right, next thing you know, someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, we came up with the biggest open world game of all time, and you could run it on this pregnancy test." I'll be like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "No way!" He's like, "Nope, we figured it out. You can run this incredible looking game on a fucking video card that came out a decade ago, right? It cost you $12." And you get a USB dongle for free. I'm like, this is nuts, right? You only need 12 RAM total. 12, you're like, 12 gig? No, 12 megabytes of RAM. You can run this bitch on a PlayStation 2. I'd be like, truly, we are living in the greatest timeline. No, they're gonna do some nonsense like that again. Where, well, again, you just showed us this absolutely beautiful game, Neon Inferno, and it's a gig. I'm like, oh wow, what I wouldn't give for a game that's merely that size. I'm here for it. I love to see it. The second I see a game with a small install size, you know what I do? I go, oh, I got to play that. Just because I'm like, there's a good chance you're doing something really interesting and no one's noticing.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors without the extra hardware strain and memory strain. They're making it happen. And I think we are. I think we are on the path of like the culture and the community is saying we're tired of these expensive games. You're passing on the cost on us, and games shouldn't have to cost that much. And why are you forcing us to play this? And we don't like it, and we keep showing that we don't like it, and then these investors keep saying, "No, no, no, they love it. Here you go." So they'll learn. They'll learn the hard way for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I for one, I'm looking forward to what you just said. I do want to go back to, go back to the basics and have more, technical and artistic freedom with working with what they got versus just slapping money at it, throwing money at it, basically.
Because basically, here's the awful truth. The awful truth is that you are pricing your own customers out of the market, and they will do what you don't think they'll do. They will go find something else to do with their damn time. They
Mm-hmm.
will. You'll be like, you know what? I need to get caught up on my reading because a
Yep.
book is nice and cheap these days. Motherfuckers will get up on some audiobooks. They'll be like, yeah, man, I'm listening to Lord of the Rings and
Yeah.
and crocheting. They will fucking find something else to do with their time that isn't as expensive. That's just the bottom line. That's how
Yep.
people work, right?
Yeah.
Even I'm blanching at these prices. I think now, and I'm the guy that's like, there's going to be a certain degree of inflation that's going to occur. Video games have been very inflation proof for a very long damn time, right? When getting some eggs cost $7, but even now, we can still score a brand new game for $50. Like, there's developers that still do that stuff. But watching things slide upward, I'm like, it's you're starting to price everyone out of the market. You can't be like, oh, it's the cheapest thing for dollars spent. Hey, people are putting out $70 games, and you're only getting 10 hours of content out of it. It's like you just got to stop and reconsider. Just double check and see if this is the direction you want to go. And it's even worse if you're locked into one platform and you have no clue what kind of nonsense they're going to do. I mean, hell, the situation is so bad that Steam, right? Valve is out here trying to put out new hardware, and they've just been sitting on those Steam machines because they're going, ooh, they know that if they just try to release it with the way that RAM is just skyrocketed through the roof, it's not going to work, and it's going to fall flat on its face just because of the sheer cost. I told Ace when I did an upgrade last year, literally in I think March of 2025. I bought 64 gigabytes of RAM, of laptop RAM, even for $150. That same RAM is $700. That exact same kit.
Ew.
I was like, wow, I can just buy a fucking Nintendo Switch 2 complete box and have a game be up ready to go. And that I'm like, that RAM doesn't even do anything. If I put it on my desk and I push it with a stick, nothing will happen. I was like, wow, $700. I'm like, at that point, fuck it. It's better to tell someone to go ahead and pay the $650 and get yourself a PS5, right? Even though it's like, oh, that's expensive. I'm like, yes, but it's all in one. It's done. Like, it's tough. It's tough in these economic times. You know, shop smart. Shop smart, people. Right? Hold off. Maybe don't buy that game on day one. Maybe wait a year or the 6 months, whenever the sale comes around. Go looking at games that you wouldn't normally look at. Like just because you're getting something at a bargain bin price doesn't mean that it's bargain bin quality.
That's
You might
true.
be finding some gems out there. I just sold you. I told you, Mad Max is one of the best games I've played in that decade, in the 2010s, hands down. Like, no, you totally play it. It's the game to play. I just got done saying, hey, you play as a fucking shark, man. It's GTA Shark, and you gotta eat a lot of people that day. It's the same thing. $5. It doesn't mean it's crap. It's just it's on sale. Go look for the sales, right? See some new indies. Look for some AA games, small teams who are out there just trying to find they're trying to find their audience because they're having to fight against the gigantic game corporations that have basically become the fucking corporation from Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. They're just eating their own at this point. Like, maybe buy from someone else. And that's it. That's what I've got for this week.
I'll end it with this. Cinerus said something interesting in chat. It said, puts on indie hat, tinfoil. Pricing consumers out of ownership is a ploy to make way for hardware and compute subscriptions. And then I sent a reply saying, it's already happening, man. Check out this link. So if y'all are interested, you guys can lease your own PS5 in Europe right now directly from PlayStation. Hooray!
Oh
So-
no, they can kiss my ass on that one.
Well,
No,
there you
sir.
go. That's it's not in the US yet, but I did find that like interesting that they are leasing that in Europe right now. So it makes me wonder if this is phase one of the plan. So thanks for that, Cinerus, and thanks for like bringing that up.
Look, if it was, rent to buy, like, sure, right? Like over an extended period, help just kind of ease that direct hit. That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I'm literally looking at it. They're like, here's how it works. Select your device and lease term. Choose monthly rolling for ultimate flexibility. For lower monthly payments, select 12, 24, or 36 months.
You
End
can
of lease.
kiss the darkest parts of my ass.
that
would be
sounds
his
like
butthole.
the leasing a PS5 sounds like a final boss. That's go ahead, man.
The end of lease. At the end of your chosen term, you're in control. Upgrade, keep paying monthly, or leave flex by returning your device. Hell no. What the hell is wrong with you? So you're just gonna that's insane. That's crazy talk. Like, no, come on. Rent-A-Center back in the day had a better model than this,
Yep.
and they charged you way more over that period, but at least at the end of it all, you got to keep your shit. Like, no, hell no. Don't do that. No, in no way, shape, or form do you participate in that. Don't do it. It's a scam. Even your fucking phone company, you're like, I want the newest iPhone. Eventually, you will own that phone. Like, no, they're goofing. They're goofing. When Apple looks reasonable in their pricing structure, you have fucked up somewhere. No.
Yeah, don't do it, chat. Don't promote it. So, all right. Well, this final boss for tonight is actually a little chaotic, and I'm actually going to do a little bit different. I'm going to put some gameplay in the background here that I want to share because it resonates with what I have to share with you guys. Let's see here. All right, let's go. All right, so what you're seeing on the screen here is an example of a bullet hell game. Now, what you guys see is chaos, right? A little bit of bullets everywhere, just kind of like, oh, what's going on? And in gaming and in life, it can get that way too. So this is what inspired me to talk about this final boss for tonight, titled When the Screen Gets Crowded. And you'll see in the screen there, it's going to get crowded, right? So tonight's lesson is called When the Screen Gets Crowded, because every gamer knows this feeling, right? You're locked in, you got the rhythm, you're dodging clean, you're landing shots, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, I got this. This is good, right? Then suddenly the game says, you thought it was the whole test, huh? No. This is just the beginning. Enemies start coming from the left, projectiles flying from the right, something explodes in the background, your health is blinking red, right? Your co-op partner is yelling for help, res me, right? This is like a really bad run on some sort of like battle royale game, right? Now, the screen looks less like a video game, as you can see there, and more like somebody dropped fireworks into the arcade cabinet. Good timing on that. And that's the moment, right? That's where the real player shows up, because when the screen gets crowded, anybody can panic. Anybody can just mash the buttons. You can run in circles all you want, and anybody can blame the game and say, man, this sucks. This is cheap. This is unfair. That was me in Neon Inferno in some of the stages. But the disciplined player, that player breathes. They understand what went wrong. They read the pattern, and they find the opening. They try to stop, to control everything on the screen and focus on the next right move. And class, that is not just limited to gaming. That is actually part of life. because life has a way of crowding the screen too. You're trying to handle one thing and five more show up, right? Work gets heavier, bills stack up, family needs you, your health needs attention, right? Your dreams are calling, PlayStations are costing $900, right? Now you got to lease it. It's insane. Your responsibilities are pulling on your sleeve, and your backlog is somehow still judging you from across the room. Now, just like in Neon Inferno, we got foreground enemies, background enemies, right? Projectiles everywhere, Halo top ice cream in the background, right? And what happens next? The temptation is to mash, freak out, just like in some fighting games, right? Here's the thing: react to everything, say yes to everything, worry about everything, try to fix every problem at the same time. But class, mashing is not really a strategy with us, right? Mashing is what we do when we lose trust in our training, in our focus. Sometimes the answer is not to move faster, sometimes the answer is to get calm enough to see clearly, focus on the situation. Now, in Neon Inferno, the screen can get wild with enemies coming from different layers. I actually had an issue with this in the first 30 minutes of the game. You know, they're coming from the left, the right, the foreground, the background. And then the controls was another challenge, right? Bullets were flying, danger shows up from more than one direction. But the lesson here is simple, and I learned that over the Weekend Warrior last week. Chaos is not one random thing, but once you read it, right, it doesn't become chaotic anymore. The enemy becomes a pattern. The projectile has a path. The opening is there. As you can see on this bullet hell game, right? Small movements, right? It's almost hard to track, but yeah, they're asking you to pay attention. And that's the difference between being overwhelmed and being tested. Overwhelmed says, man, this is too much. I can't handle this. Look at the screen right here. You know, the tested say, I just need to adjust. I need to move here. I need to move there. The overwhelmed says, there's a lot happening. There's too much happening. The tested says, what does matter? What matters first right now? The overwhelmed says, I'm losing. This sucks. The tested says, I'm learning the pattern. I got this. That shift right there, that's the level up, right? I experienced that in Neon Inferno because the screen getting crowded does not automatically mean you're failing. Sometimes it means the game believes you are ready for more. Now, think about it this way. The tutorial does not throw everything at you, right? Level 1 does not ask for your best, not your mastery. The early enemies do not use the full move set, right? But later, stage 4, bro. Later, the game starts layering the challenge. More enemies, more hazards, more decisions, and more pressure. Why? Well, because you made it far enough to be challenged, right? You beat the level, and they want to throw a little bit more difficulty your way, right? So when life starts throwing more at you, don't always take it as proof that you're losing. Now think about it in another way, right? Maybe it's proof that you have leveled enough to face a harder stage, right? But class, here's the catch. A harder stage requires a better strategy, right? You cannot use level 1 habits on a final boss problem. I love that. You cannot fight a bullet storm with button mashing. You cannot beat a raid boss with no communication. For you MMO players out there, you understand that clearly. And you can't clear the level if you refuse to learn from the last attempt. So when your screen gets crowded, just ask yourself this. What's the actual threat? Is it the loudest thing? Is it the scariest thing, right? Kind of relates back to PHG, right? Not the thing flashing red in your mind, right? But the actual threat. What needs your attention first? Then ask, well, what can I dodge? Some problems do not need a fight. Some drama doesn't need a response. You learn that real quick from the internet. And some distractions are just projectiles flying across the screen right there. Now let them pass. Then ask, where's the opening? Because there is almost a way and there's almost an opening. Man, that's impressive. Look at that. Now, there's a task you can finish, a boundary you can set, a habit you can restart, a conversation you can also have with yourself. You can even do a small move that gives you space to breathe. The disciplined player does not need the whole screen to be safe. They just need one opening, one clean dodge, one good decision, one step toward control. That is how you survive that chaos. Not by pretending it's not there, not by waiting for the screen to clear completely, and not by quitting because the level got hard. Good clear. You survive by learning how to move through it. And class, that is where growth lives. Growth is not always peaceful. Growth is not always quiet. Growth does not always look like a montage with inspirational music and perfect lighting, right? Sometimes growth looks like you, tired after work, still choosing to handle your responsibilities, still having enough energy to go on a podcast with your homies to talk about the things you love, even though you're tired. Sometimes growth looks like you're saying no when you're used to saying yes. Sometimes growth is simply like turning off the noise and focusing on what actually matters. And and sometimes growth just looks like getting hit, losing the run, taking a breath and saying, okay, now I got to do what next in my time, right? So keep that in mind, guys. That's the player mindset. That's kind of the game. That's basically the gamer quotient way, right? Not perfection, adjustment. Because no great player can become great by avoiding pressure. They become great by learning what to do when pressure arrived, right? Challenge it. Go in front of it. They become great by learning what to do when, like fighting game players learn to block under pressure. That's a tough one. And RPG players learn when to heal and when to attack. Strat players can learn when to hold the line, when to retreat. There's a variety of different ways you can do this, right? Hell, when I was young, the arcade, right? The arcade taught me that every credit taught me something because the next attempt cost me money, right? So you have to be extra careful with that. So tonight, when the screen gets crowded, remember this. You don't have to solve your whole life in one move, right? You don't have to dodge every projectile perfectly. You don't have to defeat every enemy at once. You just have to stop mashing, right? From the headmaster to you guys, breathe. Read the pattern. Find the opening and make the next right move. Because in games and in life, the screen getting crowded is not the end of the run. It is the moment that reveals what kind of player you're becoming. So take a look in the mirror. When the pressure rises, class, when the enemies multiply, when the world fills your screen with noise, just like these bullet hell games, don't panic, lock in, because the disciplined player does not need an empty screen to win. They just need the courage to keep moving on when the screen gets crowded. And I'll end with this. The hero of your story is not the one who never gets overwhelmed. It's the one who learns how to play through the chaos. All right. So that is your final boss for 5/19/2026. I felt that the bullet hell game was really helped out what I was trying to say there. So, what are your takeaways on that, guys?
Well, I feel kind of called out with the whole getting on a podcast with your best mates after having a long day at work and being wiped the fuck out from it.
Yeah, no, we're here, we're grinding it, we're going through it, right?
Yeah, and I can honestly say, it's I always go back to saying, discipline is the brother of routine, right? It's not even a reflex at this point, so much as it's just a habit that you build up. It's a muscle that you build up as you learn to fight through and move through the chaos of everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you need, you take a second to, breathe. And taking that second to breathe is also that moment where you're going to be able to take a look and find your opening.
Yep. And sometimes it could be just as simple as, doing something that you didn't think that would make an impact to you, but then like 2 turns later, 3 steps later, you're like, I'm really glad I did that. It was worth it, And it's different for everyone. Jago says he felt that one. I'd like to, if you can share with Jagos, that'd be great. Anything else?
No, not for me. That was actually just really well put together. No notes.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, this one from my experience last week through playing Neon Inferno really brought back a lot of classic gaming trauma my way. But that's the thing, though. I loved it. I loved every minute of it because it reminded me of like this is what you grew up on. You've been spoiled in your last 20 years playing these like games that serve up an experience to you rather than learning from the experience, right? The games that have always taught me to adjust my gameplay were always fighting games because you never know what to expect when you're playing somebody online. You always have to make those adjustments. But lately, the games that we've been playing, this is just a commentary on the games I've played. That doesn't really necessarily reflect the games you've played. But it's just like, we're like, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Origins right now. And I'm like, oh, I got to go there. Oh, I got to go there. Oh, where's this dang thing? Oh, it's just a blip on the map. There's no more exploration. I just got to go where the blinker tells me to go. Right. So playing Neon Inferno, I was like, I didn't know what to expect. And once I started knowing what to expect, I got better at the game, as if it was me discovering gaming all over again, right? So I think, and this is what inspired me to do this week's final boss. So Jacob says, "Well, after a day at work, I'll put it on the screen here. There's still a lot of things to do, like looking at what to write and watching a stream or two and learning from things outside a game." That's true. There's a lot of things that can happen. Like, for example, I think Ace, you get up pretty early to start your day, right?
Yep.
Today I got up at 5 because I had a call with a client at 7:00, and usually I get up at 7:00. So I was already at the office at 7, and I left like 30 minutes earlier, but still I had to come here. I took a short nap and started building out our podcast for tonight. So as much as I was like, no, I don't want to, I'm tired, I was like, no, this actually I enjoyed like building this and creating this. So though my body wasn't there, the spirit was still there. I was still like, yeah, I love this. Let's just do it. Also it motivated me that I saw, like, I Googled myself and our channel, and I Googled you guys, and yeah, the GEO and SEO of Google like knows us now, which is one of the goals I had last year, right? So that's fantastic. That's another notch on the belt for Gamer Quotient / Gaming Academy. So wish Nick was here to celebrate that, but congratulations, guys. You're one step closer to internet famous. So.
At least Google knows us by name now.
Yay. Yeah, username. See, Andre said, I learned a lot in general with GQ's mantra, gaming with intent. Well, please do. Yeah. Love that. Love it. All right. Well, I'm tired, but I'm having fun with you guys. So Ace, if you would kindly close us out for the evening.
Will do. Well, class, that's going to wrap up class number 76 of Gamer Quotient Gaming Academy. Tonight, we stepped up to the cabinet and debuted our brand new segment, Insert Coin. Neon Inferno got the first run, and we broke down the action, the chaos, the price, the value, and whether this game is worth your time, money, energy, and attention. And after that, the headmaster closed us out with the final boss, When the Screen Gets Crowded. That one hit pretty hard, because we've all been there in games and in life. Enemies everywhere, projectiles flying, health bar blinking. Too much happening at once. But the lesson tonight was simple. Don't panic. Lock in. Read the pattern, find the opening, pick your moment, and make the next right move. Because whether you're clearing a level, chasing a goal, building something meaningful, or just trying to get through a tough week, you don't need to solve everything in one move. You just need to keep your focus when the screen gets crowded. Big shout out to everybody who joined us live, dropped comments in the chat, shared your thoughts, and of course, spent part of your night with us here at the Gaming Academy. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share it with another gamer, and make sure you join us in the Discord too. You can find everything through our links hub at beacons.ai/gaming academy. We'll be back next class with more gaming news, more faculty discussion, more lessons from the games we play, and probably more chaos than the syllabus approved. But until then, Keep learning, keep leveling up, and keep asking yourself the question, what's your gamer quotient? Class dismissed.
Nice.